Is the Trump administration about to dismantle the Iranian regime from the inside out?
By bypassing Tehran's iron-fisted leadership to speak directly to the hearts and minds of the Iranian people, the White House has initiated one of the most provocative diplomatic gambits we have seen in decades. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you don't miss these critical updates. The situation is developing rapidly. Fox News Digital has obtained a State Department video, currently being broadcast across Persian-language outlets like Iran International and the BBC, that delivers a blunt, unfiltered message to the people of Iran.
The narrator, speaking in Farsi, pulls no punches.
They aren't pointing fingers at the Iranian citizens. Instead, they are squarely blaming a leadership that fears openness and consistently chooses confrontation over opportunity. This move comes at a time of extreme volatility. Millions of Iranians are just now regaining access to the internet after an agonizing 88-day nationwide blackout that was enforced as the regime desperately tried to crush widespread protests that challenged their rule. The administration's message is clear: when Americans look at Iran, they see a talented, rich, and historically significant culture, not an enemy. They argue that the country's potential is being stifled by a government that prioritizes funding terror and chasing nuclear weapons over the basic needs and freedoms of its own people. But here is where the strategy gets incredibly complex.
We are currently witnessing an unusual, almost surreal dynamic.
On one hand, U.S. officials are sitting across the table from Iranian representatives, engaging in high-stakes negotiations regarding nuclear programs and regional security. Yet, simultaneously, the State Department is effectively telling the Iranian public that their government is the primary obstacle to their own happiness and freedom. It is a dual-track policy that seems designed to pressure the regime both at the bargaining table and on the streets. Critics of the previous administration have long argued that the policy toward Iran was characterized by inaction and silence. Now, officials like Secretary of State Marco Rubio are taking a much more aggressive stance. With the backing of the White House, the U.S. is signaling that while they are willing to negotiate, they have no intention of easing sanctions simply to reward a regime that continues to suppress its own people. The administration's position is that any meaningful change must come from within, that the Iranian people themselves should be the architects of their future, free from the intimidation and fear that has defined life under the current leadership.
This also serves as a strategic acknowledgement of the protests that shook the Islamic Republic earlier this year. Though those protests were met with a brutal crackdown, mass arrests, and lethal force, the fact that the administration is now directly engaging with the Iranian public suggests that Washington views the regime's stability as far more fragile than it appears on the surface.
They are betting that by stripping away the regime's propaganda and offering a different narrative, they can further embolden the opposition.
However, the question remains: is this merely symbolic support, or is it a precursor to a more tectonic shift in policy? The opposition in Iran remains notoriously fragmented, a mosaic of monarchists, reformists, and ethnic movements. Intelligence assessments have long questioned whether a unified alternative even exists to take the reins if the current government were to fall. By speaking directly to the people, the U.S. might be trying to catalyze that unification, or perhaps they are simply drawing a line in the sand, making it clear to the world that America's disagreement is with a regime, not a culture. So, what do you think about this? Do you believe that speaking directly to the Iranian people will actually spark a revolution, or is this just another political move that will have little impact on the ground in Tehran? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. The reality is that we are witnessing a new chapter in the US-Iran relationship. Whether this leads to a new agreement, a total collapse of the current regime, or continued stalemate, one thing is certain: the Trump administration is not playing by the old rules of diplomacy. They have taken the gloves off, and the message they've sent to Tehran is one that simply cannot be ignored. We will be tracking this story as it develops, so stay tuned for more.